Wei Wuxian was momentarily dazed, then glanced at Lan Wangji's suddenly tightened fingers. Seeing his rapid breathing, struggling to suppress the surging waves within, Wei Wuxian mischievously curled one side of his lips. His chest pressed tightly against Lan Wangji's. He provocatively stared into his reddened eyes and slowly licked his own moist lips with his tongue. Feeling Lan Wangji's shoulders tremble slightly, and the sudden twitch of what was in his palm, Wei Wuxian then moved to lick Lan Wangji's lips. Then he pressed his lips against Lan Wangji's and looked up at him with a seductive gaze, whistling softly. Lan Wangji's Adam's apple slid down instantly, his lips pressing tightly together to suppress the increasingly unruly agitation. Wei Wuxian's red lips pursed lightly, still showing a bit of the crimson tongue, his eyes enchanting and enticing. Lan Wangji's passion burned intensely, pushed to his limit. The waves of desire whirled inside him, pulling him deeper into the trap. The whistle rose and fell, smooth and pleasing to the ear, weaving countless threads that teased the heart. Lan Wangji let out a muffled groan and pinned Wei Wuxian down onto the ground. Wei Wuxian's lips and teeth were fiercely seized by Lan Wangji. They kissed when rolling into the grass. The leaves rustled softly around them. Wei Wuxian was nearly suffocating, kicking his legs wildly. Lan Wangji slightly lifted his chest and released his lips. Wei Wuxian lay in the bushes, gasping, watching Lan Wangji's chest rise and fall erratically. Having regained some composure, he couldn't help but teasingly provoke again. He half raised his body, curling his flexible tongue, and mischievously lowered his head to the bulge beneath Lan Wangji, blowing a slippery, trembling whistle which was like a warbler's call. Just as expected, Lan Wangji stiffened, his robe hem shifting upward slightly. His breath was chaotic, his hand pressing on Wei Wuxian's chest clenched tightly, twisting his clothes. His eyes were bloodshot, filled with the look of a cornered beast. Staring at his soft tongue, his heartstrings tangled beyond repair, his tone changed from calm to almost breaking. He warned, "Stop," whistling. Wei Wuxian wasn't about to listen obediently. He found it quite amusing. If teasing words stirred Lan Wangji, his reaction made it all right. But Wei Wuxian had not expected that even casual whistles could ignite Lan Wangji such feelings and bodily response. This was even more blood-pumping and uncontrollably exciting to Lan Wangji than seductive words. No, Wei Wuxian not only didn't stop, but blew several flirtatiously bold whistles in a teasing tone. Feeling the heat beneath Lan Wangji's robe, Wei Wuxian's tongue brushed over his flushed lips. Swollen from blood engorgement, breathing over Lan Wangji's reddened eye corners, drawing out every ending note, teasing deeply. Where is the calm and composed Han Guangjun? I was just wondering, why was Ergege's sword qi unstable while killing the evil spirit? It turned out that my whistle controlling the corpse disturbed your focus. That's your fault. Wei Wuxian suddenly bit Lan Wangji's earlobe, making him froze slightly. Lan Wangji's hands quickly tangled into Wei Wuxian's hair. At this moment, he couldn't even utter a warning. Wei Wuxian continued teasing, leaning close to blow another whistle by his ear. Lanzhan, your uncle would be furious if he knew you were like this right now. Since when did Ergege become so bewitched by my whistle? Could it have started at the Guanyin temple? Wei Wuxian was pushed by Lan Wangji, falling backward, hitting the ground, but Lan Wangji swiftly put one hand under his head. Lan Wangji's deep eyes drew close, with a hot breath brushing the strands of hair by his temple. Suddenly, a chill at the lower body made Wei Wuxian let out a long moan, joy surging and receding in his eyes with Lan Wangji's movements. Lan Wangji had been strongly restraining himself. After the incident at Guanyin Temple, misbehaving behind the bushes was a last resort. His nature would never permit himself to indulge in such wildness in the open again. But Wei Wuxian's whistle completely unraveled his control. Wei Wuxian felt Lan Wangji's terrifying power, as though his body and soul was about to be torn in two. Even so, he still wouldn't behave properly. Wei Wuxian gently stroked the head buried in his neck, then turned to blow a whistle again close to his ear, teasing recklessly. Lan Wangji bit down on his pale neck, warning him to shut up immediately. But Wei Wuxian laughed. amazed at how the tearing sensation only intensified with the whistle. The whistling became more fluctuating and trembling, sharp and unmatched. Wei Wuxian coughed harshly from the intensity, winding his arms around Lan Wangji's neck and kissing passionately. As the two were fully engaged, rustling sounds came from around. Wei Wuxian opened his eyes slightly, glimpsing from the corner a decaying corpse staring with cloudy eyes at the entangled pair, its rotten throat gurgling. He suddenly realized with shock, patting his own forehead. Just thinking about teasing Lan Wangji made him forget that his whistle could command corpses. The nearby roaming corpses were probably all summoned by him. Wei Wuxian pushed aside the tall grass. The soil stirred lightly. Sure enough, a few ranks of rigid-stepping corpses approached quietly nearby. Lan Wangji glanced over and felt deeply ashamed, his body faintly flushed with a light blush. But stopping was impossible for him now. The area was wide and open, and once Wei Wuxian's whistle sounded, the echo would multiply, and Lan Wangji's self-control would collapse instantly. Wei Wuxian had to blow several whistles to drive the corpses away. Seeing Lan Wangji's face flushed and pearls hanging from his eyelashes, he raised an arm difficultly to rub his cheek. "Lan Zhan, don't be shy. Don't worry. They can't see." With the whistle circling his ears, Lan Wangji had no chance to speak or open his mouth, just breathing heavily and exerting more pressure. Wei Wuxian suffered terribly, tilting his neck back, clutching the grass tightly. He blew the whistle erratically, intermittently, chaotically, to drive off the corpses, mixed with broken moans. The corpses hesitated and moved in response to the whistle's wavering. Usually it took less than 10 minutes to drive the corpses away, but now it took more than half an hour before they finally quieted down. Wei Wuxian's mouth and tongue were dry and tired. He collapsed completely, feeling his legs and lips were about to cramp. Lan Wangji, however, showed no sign of fatigue, becoming even more intense than before. Wei Wuxian's whistle was like a nimble little snake, sliding up and down inside Lan Wangji's heart, recklessly charging about. Wei Wuxian listened to the echo of his whistle, reverberating between heaven and earth. Too exhausted even to beg for mercy, letting Lan Wangji move to the whistle's rhythm. Tears clung to the grass tips like fresh night dew. Fireflies gathered and dispersed. Wei Wuxian's mind fluctuated with the clashes, scattered, and then gathered again, endlessly repeating. The echo finally subsided. Lan Wangji's chest pressed close against his heartbeat pounding like a drum, beating in unison with Wei Wuxian's heart. Wei Wuxian twisted his waist and silently marveled that being with Lan Wangji was truly damn thrilling. Lan Wangji adjusted his forehead ribbon, glanced at the flattened patch of grass, then looked at Wei Wuxian's disheveled appearance. Feeling too shy to face him, he bashfully closed his eyes. Wei Wuxian's lips parted slightly, his gaze still unfocused, his whole body weak and breathless. Usually, after finishing, Wei Wuxian would tease Lan Wangji with some flirtatious words, but now he had no strength at all. He tried lifting his waist 4 or 5 times but couldn't pull his pants up properly. In the end, Lan Wangji carried him horizontally, and Wei Wuxian felt so exhausted it was as if half his life had drained away. Really, Wei Wuxian had never thought that whistling could drain him to the point of nearly losing his breath. The bright river of stars was in the sky. The moon was shining together with the stars. Wei Wuxian, barely conscious, lay slumped on Little Apple's back, his long legs dangling as he tugged at the donkey's ears. Lan Wangji held the reins and walked forward silently. "Lan Zhan," Wei Wuxian spoke with a nasal tone. Lan Wangji's voice also carried a breathy sound. Wei Wuxian's throat was dry and tight, his voice unusually hoarse, but he kept babbling to his partner. "Oh, I'm really amazing." Lan Wangji's face still had a faint blush in the moonlight's gentle glow. The heat in his heart hadn't dissipated either, spreading through his limbs and bones, causing his voice to remain less steady than usual. Wei Wuxian turned his head to stare at the hand holding the reins, then looked at Lan Wangji and smiled. "My whistle can control corpses, but I didn't expect it could control you too." He laughed with utter enjoyment. "Why does Han Guangjun always surprise me like this?" Stop talking." Lan Wangji took a deep breath, turning his face away, shy and urgent as he ordered. If you want me to stop talking, you'd have to silence me. As long as I have breath, I have to speak. Wei Wuxian rubbed his slender waist, complaining, Lan Zhan, you're really something. Just now I was shouting, whistling, and crying, and you never stopped me, telling me to be quiet. Little Apple joined in the ruckus, snorting loudly several times. Look! Even Little Apple agrees. Wei Wuxian scratched the donkey's neck to reward it. Lan Wangji chuckled softly, and as Wei Wuxian stroked Little Apple's ears, Lan Wangji patted Wei Wuxian's back, saying, It says, shameless. Yeah, shameless. Wei Wuxian stared at Lan Wangji's faintly pink profile, his voice filled with a smile and mischief. But he's talking about you. Their eyes met, and both smiled simultaneously. Lan Zhan. Where are we going next? Wei Wuxian finally finished laughing. Guangling. Oh. He yawned and rubbed his face on the donkey's back. The two chatted casually on and off, and before long, Wei Wuxian's soft, steady snoring came from the donkey's back. Lan Wangji held his drooping hand, guided Little Apple slowly into the night, their silhouettes stretched by the moonlight, finally merging into one.